Right here I've got some herbs in pots, and this is a sorely neglected and out of season oregano plant. And when I first started growing these plants in pots, I noticed from time to time if I neglected the plants, either they would die off or they'd get pretty haggard. So I'm just going to show you a little trick that I learned to bring this plant back. A lot of people, if you're just starting out with perennials, know that if it's rosemary or thyme or some of these other herbs, they'll come back year after year, even if they get in this horrible state. Usually they will. And got some tremendously good advice from a really expert farmer and gardener many years ago about doing this little repair. But if you do have your herbs in pots, and again, you have to make sure it's a perennial or something that's supposed to continue to grow. Like this guy, you can see there's only just like a few little leaves left. I think that we have another oregano someplace else in the garden, so I think I just let this one go. Wasn't tending to it, and the bugs eventually got it, and then I stopped watering it. But a nice way to, if you want to rejuvenate this plant and it'll start to grow real fully, is all you need is a little bit of, or maybe a lot of bit of fertilizer and some water and your trusty shears for taking care of the removal of the excess dead stuff. But anyway, so I've got my water here, and I've got my, this is really cool fertilizer. I don't particularly endorse it, but it's good. It's called Grow Power, and the reason why I like it is it's humus based. It's got all this bacteria in it that's good for the soil. So it's not one of these like blast you with all this chemical fertilizer. You get growth for 3 years and then you kill everything off in the soil. And there's a lot of fertilizers out there that do that. But anyway, so this is not science. This is super easy, or not rocket science. So here's the thing. You think that you're killing the plant, but all you want to do is come in here and you just want to cut all this stuff down. So you basically trim the entire plant down, cut all this crap out of here. So, well, you lose a little bit of oregano, but you do that for the sake of a healthy plant a little further down the road. So I cut all this stuff down to about 1 inch high. And so now you think, okay, now I've thoroughly killed the plant and there's nothing left. But that's not the case. This guy will more than likely come back. And again, the advice that I got from that really good farmer was fertilize the heck out of it, throw some water on it, keep watering it, and it'll come back. So I'm just going to throw some of this Grow Power in here. And I'm kind of liberal with this stuff. Fertilize the heck out of it means you fertilize the heck out of it. And then just throw a little water in there. Make sure it's good and saturated. And what I'll do is I'll come out here every 2 or 3 days. It's pretty hot right now. The sun's pretty hot. And so I'll keep watering this thing until stuff starts to come up a little bit. The only other thing that you have to be considerate of is if it's just not its season. Sometimes these herbs, they just don't, they don't want to grow at certain times. If it's too hot, too cold, whatever it is, depending on the herb. But if you want to save your perennials, and if you've made the mistake like I've made here, which is kind of to neglect the plant, just cut it down 1 inch. This stuff is all okay. You can kind of remove kind of the crud, but the root's still there, and I put a bunch of fertilizer in there, and you'll start to see it shoot up. And maybe if it doesn't shoot up because it's the wrong time of year, keep watering it. It'll eventually go. So that's about it regarding this perennial herbs, bringing back perennial oregano in a pot. I got some other neat herbs here too. That's some let's see here, it's got some mint and some parsley that's starting to go to seed. That's a biennial. This guy's a marjoram. There's some thyme over there, and then we've got our seedlings coming up that I'm starting to harden for cucumbers, and some cabbage and some sunflowers, some other stuff for this growing season. So I hope this is helpful. It was really helpful to me when I learned it. I never had to throw out another perennial herb. I just kept regrowing them if I neglected them. All right, well, go plant something.